welcome to the inaugural video of Camping and Music with Matt. My name is Matt Gerber and I will be your host for these videos. I wanted to put a series of videos together that I could talk about some of my camping experiences as well as showcasing some of the songs that I've written. In regards to the format, I plan on talking about one of the parks and share some of those experiences, and then at the end of the video I will perform one of my songs. So a little bit about me. I live in Ontario, Canada, and that's where the bulk of my camping trips have taken place, although I do intend to touch on some out-of-province camping trips in some future videos. Also, as a singer-songwriter, I enjoy writing music in many different genres, and I play a variety of instruments. One of my goals is to try to make it to all of the Ontario provincial parks that I can go car camping at. And for those of you who might not be familiar with that term car camping, that's basically, my definition is any campsite that you can effectively drive to and set up your camp at. I would call that car camping. And so that would be opposed to different types of campsites that would only be accessible via canoe or by hiking in. And I would refer to those as backcountry camping sites. So Ontario has well over 300 different provincial parks, and a lot of these offer some sort of camping experience. There's also a lot that are just basically day use types of parks, but of all those parks, 82 of them offer a car camping experience. And to date, I've so far camped at 69 out of those 82 parks. So basically I have 13 to go and then I'll complete my goal. And that brings me to the very first park that I want to talk about, which is Presqu'ile. Presqu'ile is an Ontario provincial park which I stayed at in 2019 between the 6th and 9th of September. Presqu'ile is located in the north shore of Lake Ontario on a small peninsula just about 5 minutes south of the town of Brighton. Now when I arrive at any park, one of the first things I like to do is to pick up one of the very handy park information guides, and those are typically available at the gatehouse when you check in. So these guides contain maps of the park and campgrounds, and often also contain articles about the local flora and fauna that are specific to that park. Presqu'ile has many camping options that include electrical or non-electrical campsites, as well as roofed accommodations. The park also has a designated beach for swimming and has several comfort stations spread throughout the park. And those comfort stations include facilities such as washrooms, showers, laundry, and also dishwashing stations. There are an assortment of trails, both for hiking and or for cycling. Now many of these are linked, so you can decide if you want to do a shorter type of walk or a longer one. You can just link the loops together. Now during my stay at Presqu'ile, I set up my camp on site number 237 in the lakeside campground. This was fairly close to a comfort station as well as being near the lake. I was able to set up my Hennessy Expedition camping hammock and also set up some other tarps for shelter in case of rain. I typically bring both my camping hammock as well as a more standard style of tent on these car camping trips. I prefer the hammock, but not every site that I stay at has trees that will accommodate its setup, so it's nice to have the flexibility. One of my favorite hikes was to take the trails out to Presqu'ile Point to check out the Presqu'ile Lighthouse Interpretive Center. You never know what you're going to spot when you keep your eyes peeled when you're walking around. And speaking of peeled, on one of my hikes, I came across a discarded snake skin. So if anyone can identify the type of snake that this skin came from, then please let me know in the comments below, because I'm not really sure what kind of snake this was. On my second day, I took part in a guided wildflower walk that was offered by the park. Although most parks will offer programming of one sort or the other throughout the summer, it's rare to have this offered in the off-season, so I took advantage of it. One of my takeaways from the walk was that certain insects like to plant their eggs in the stem of goldenrods. And the plant will then form what's called a gall around the egg. And once the egg hatches, then the larva will feed off the stem material. These galls take one of two distinct shapes. Either they'll be shaped like a round ball, or they will take on a more oblong shape. So what I learned on this trip was there's two different kinds of insects that lay their eggs in these in the goldenrod stems. So the one is a fly, the other is a moth. And the distinct shapes of the galls will tell you if that egg was from a fly or a moth. So most flies will leave a ball-shaped gall, and the moths, that egg will form a oblong-shaped gall around the egg. So here's a picture that I took of what a typical gall looks like. And I would describe this gall as being oblong shaped. So I think that would make it a moth. But if anybody who has a better eye than me for these types of things disagrees, then let me know in the comments below. Monarch butterflies were also in abundance during my stay at the park and were very visible during the walk. So here's just a picture of a monarch butterfly that I took. On the third day, I went for a drive and had lunch at the Sand and Pearl Oyster Bar, which is located just outside the Sandbanks Provincial Park, which I intend on covering in a future video. The food was delicious, and I was told that wherever possible they try to source their ingredients locally. And also the only way you're going to get fresher fish is if you catch it yourself. After lunch, I spent the rest of the afternoon just relaxing at my site. And then I capped off the day with a nice little campfire. And one of the nice things about camping later in the season is that there are generally fewer mosquitoes, so just sitting around at night is a little more pleasant. On my last day at Presquile, I took a stroll out along the beach in the morning. The weather was beautiful, and this, again, being the off season, the beach was pretty much deserted, so I had the run of the beach to myself. So this capped off what was actually my second visit to Presquile. If you want to learn more about Presquile, I'll put the link in the description below. So that was the camping, and now time for the music. The song that I've chosen to play for you is Buzz Off Mosquito. And I can tell you, the song was heavily influenced by experiences in the outdoors that I'm sure many of us have had. Buzz off mosquito, please stop bugging me. Buzz off mosquito, please stop bugging me. I don't want your itchy bite, so won't you let me be. Buzz off mosquito, please stop bugging me. I only want to sit around a campfire, maybe toast a marshmallow or two. It's not that I am wishing you would expire, but if you land on me, my hand might land on you. It's true. Buzz off mosquito, please stop bugging me. Buzz off mosquito, please stop bugging me. I don't want your itchy bite, so won't you let me be. Buzz off mosquito, please stop bugging me. I really wish I wasn't on your menu. I don't know why you find me such a treat. Ow, 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 it's time you found yourself another venue. So hit the road, go somewhere else to eat. Deet, buzz off mosquito, please stop bugging me. Buzz off mosquito, please stop bugging me. I don't want your itchy bite, so won't you let me be. Buzz off mosquito, please stop bugging me. Please stop bugging me. Please stop bugging me. you found this video to be informative and entertaining. If so, do please hit the thumbs up and subscribe buttons. Again, thank you very much for taking the time to watch my video. I really do appreciate it. My name again is Matt Gerber. Stay safe, stay well, and stay dandy.